Hello and welcome back, students. We are into the 18th video lecture of the video lecture series made on the subject of mechanics of solid, whose subject code is ME201, and the topic which we are going to discuss today is the shear force and bending moment diagram. We are going to start this topic. Before it, we have completed the topic of finding the support reactions when there are different types of beam and there are different types of loading that is acting on the beam. So now it's the time to understand about the shear force and a bending moment. I am Shri Krishna Mishra, assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. So let's start the presentation now. First of all, we will start with the lecture objectives of today's lecture. The objectives of today's lecture are: first, to know what is shear force. This is the first objective, to know basically what is shear force, students. All right. And the second objective is, after knowing what is shear force, by using the sign conventions, we are going to calculate the shear force at any section of the beam. Alright, then after we are going to understand that what is bending moment, and then after knowing the importance and significance of bending moment, we are going to calculate bending moment acting at any section of a beam when it is loaded by different types of loads. Alright, so now let's start our today's session. Shear force and bending moment both are interrelated with each other. Now what is it? First, it is important to know it. See, we see that whenever a horizontal beam is loaded with vertical loads, it bends due to the action of the load. We all have seen, student, that if there is a beam like this, and it is loaded with some vertical load, for example, if this is the load, student, then we all know that due to this vertical load, it bends due to the action of this load. This beam is supported here, students. The beam is supported here. All right, and here the beam is supported in these two positions. The different types of supports, I have told you about them. Now what will happen due to the application of this load? What will happen? This beam will bend. Beam will bend in this way. All right, this I am exaggerating, though it doesn't bend to this much amount, but for explaining you, I want to show that it bends in this way. Now the amount, in order to know the amount with which it bends, it depends upon the type of load. And the amount of load that is acting. It depends upon the type of load and the amount of load that is acting. So both are important, its type as well as its amount. Both are important in order to know how much bending will be there. Also, another important thing responsible for the type of the quantity, the amount of bending, is the length of the beam. How much longer is the beam? The length of the beam is also responsible for it. And then after, it also depends upon the elasticity of the material of the beam, and also on the type of beam. So there are many factors on which the amount of bending of a beam depends whenever there is loading in the vertical direction applied on a horizontal beam. All right, the first was what? First was the amount of load. Second was what? Second was the type of load. Second was, students, the type of load. Third was what? Third was the length of the beam. Fourth was what? Fourth was the elasticity of the beam. And lastly, on the type of the beam. Type of the beam, I have already explained you about the different type of the beam. All right, different types of beam: cantilever beam, simply supported beam, fixed beam. All right, these all I have told to you already. And then after elasticity, you all know what is the property elasticity. Then different types of load also I have told you about: uniformly distributed load, uniformly varying load. All right, and then you have point load like this in this figure which I have drawn. In this, the load which is acting is the point load. So the amount of deflection, the amount of bending depends on these much parameters. Now moving further, students, the scientific way of studying the deflection or any other effect is to draw and analyze the shear force or bending moment of the beam. Now the way in order to study the deflection, the amount of deflection, is to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram of the beam. How we will judge that how much is the amount of bending that is generated on the application of the load. So there should be some parameter, there should be some way in which we can judge the bending of a beam when some load is being applied on it. All right, so the bending can be judged with the help of a shear force and a bending moment diagram. Now what are they? What is shear force and what is bending moment diagram? In general, first of all, we all know the different types of beams are classified in this way. First is the cantilever beam. Cantilever beam has only support on one side only. Means if this is the beam, if this is the cantilever beam, then it is supported only on one side. Simply supported beam is the beam in which you have two supports. Simply supported beam is the beam in which you have two supports on both the side. One hinge, if one is the hinge support, then other will be the roller support. All right. We all know the importance of roller support is that it allows contraction and expansion of the beam whenever there is thermal gain or thermal less loss of heat. All right. Then comes the overhanging beam. What is overhanging beam? In case of overhanging beam, some portion of the beam is outside of the load. Some portion of the beam is outside of the support. If these are the two supports, then this particular portion you can see is outside of the support. So these beams are overhanging beams. Then next comes the rigidly fixed beam or built-in beam. This also I have told to you, rigidly fixed beams means it is rigidly fixed on both the side, and due to it moment is developed on both of its ends. Due to this, moment is generated at both of its ends. Then last comes the continuous beams. Continuous beams are those beams in which you have more than two supports. If you have more than two supports, then the beam is known as continuous beam. So I have already elaborated about these types of beam in my previous video lecture also. You can go and see my previous video lectures. Now students, moving further, what is shear force? Let's define what is shear force. Shear force is what? We can define a shear force in this way. Shear force, in short, it is known as SF. It is at the cross section of the beam. It may be defined as the unbalanced vertical force to the right or left of the section. For example, if this is a beam, students, if this is the beam, so then unbalanced, if you have a section in this, if you make a section in this, now the forces, if these are the forces, students, if these are the forces, all right, if these are the forces which are acting on it, then the unbalanced force to either on the left or either on the right, there you can have support reactions also in this way. So the unbalanced force on either of the one side, either on the right or either on the left. So the summation, the unbalanced force to the right or left of the section is known as shear force. Acting at the cross section of the beam. All right, and it is denoted by, in short, it is denoted by SF. So here, if these are the forces, students, if these are the forces if these are the forces, for example, if you name the force as F1, if you name the forces as F1, all right, then you have another force as F2. Similarly, if you have some other forces, like this is the reaction force Ra, and apart from them, if this is the reaction at the support B denoted by Rb, here also you can name them. Let this force be F3 and this force be F4. Now if these are the forces, then you can say that shear force here will be equal to shear force SF here will be equal to either summation of the force on the right or on the left. Means on the right some sign convention also is used here. I will tell you in the next slide. Either, so what will be the unbalanced force? F1 plus F2 minus Ra. Sign convention, I will tell you what will be the sign convention, or we can write like this, or in other words it will be equal to F3 plus F4 minus Rb. Alright, sign convention I will tell you, but in broader sense you can understand that what do you mean by the unbalanced force to the left or right of the section. Now coming into the bending moment. Students. Bending moment is in short is denoted by Bm. What is it? The bending moment at any cross section of a beam can be defined as the algebraic sum of the moment of the forces to the left or to the right of the section. Same way as in the shear force, here also, if this is the section, students, if this is the section concerned where you have to find the bending moment, then the moment of the forces to any one side of this particular section, means either on this side, either on this side, any one section about any point. All right, and the algebraic sum of the moment of all the forces is the bending moment, is your bending moment. All right, so I hope you have understood the bending. What is moment? You all know bending moment itself means it is a moment. Moment means your force will be multiplied by distance. Means if Rb, if you want to calculate the moment due to the force Rb, it will be equal to force into this distance, Rb into this distance. So you can write in short, I will tell you the notation, but in short, in broader sense you can understand that moment will be Rb into multiplied by this distance. This distance, you can name this distance. Let this distance be small x. All right, so here what we can write? We can write Rb into this x. All right, then in the same manner we will write for F3 and F4, and in this way we will find the algebraic sum of moment to the left of the section. Similarly can be done for the right section also. We will solve the numerical and understand how it is done. So now there are sign conventions. As I have told to you, some sign conventions is used while calculating the shear force. What are those sign conventions? See, one thing is to be kept in the mind that whatever sign conventions I am telling you, it might not be matching with the book which you are referring with for your self study. The reason is that the different books can have different sign conventions, but it is not a problem. You can use any of the sign conventions. Here I am using this sign convention, in which if I am considering the unbalanced force to the left of the section, then those forces going downwards, those forces on the left which are going downwards will be considered as positive. Those forces which we are considering when we are considering the left portion of the section, then those forces which are going downwards will be considered as positive. All right, and if we are considering the right section, then in that case those forces going upward will be considered as positive. So this you should always keep in mind, that if you are considering the left portion of the section, then the forces going downwards will be considered as positive, whereas the forces going upwards will be considered as negative. and the forces on the right portion of the section going downwards will be considered as negative. So these two things are important. Forces going upwards on the left of the section will be negative, and forces going downwards on the right of the section will be considered as negative. So these were the sign conventions which are used for shear force. Now the shear force, we all know, is what? It is the unbalanced vertical force. Therefore it tends to slide one portion of the beam upwards or downwards with respect to other. This means that, students, if this is the beam, then whatever is the load which is acting on it, it will cause the left portion, it will cause the left portion of the beam downward and right portion of the beam upwards. It will try to try to slide one portion of the beam upwards or downwards with respect to other. Now all the downward forces to the left of the section will cause positive shear. All the downward forces to the left of the section will be considered as positive shear, and those acting upwards will be considered as negative shear. Again, at section when the bending moment is such, now we will discuss about the sign conventions for bending moment. For bending moment at any section, for example, if this is the beam which is supported here and here. Now if you have to find, this is a section, alright, if you have to find bending moment at this section, then how you will find? First of all, bending moment is what? It tends to bend the beam at the point of curvature. It tends to bend the beam at the point of curvature, having concavity at the top. Then it will be considered as positive. Means if the load which is acting, students, if the load tries to bend in such a way, in this way, so that concavity is at the top, if the load bends in this way, students, then it is considered as positive bending moment. And when the loading bends the beam in this way, means you have convexity at the top, then that is known as negative bending moment. Alright, so concavity, if it is at the top, then it is positive bending moment, and convexity, if it is at the top, then it is known as negative bending moment. Alright, one more thing that is to be kept in mind is that positive bending moment is also known as sagging, and the negative bending moment is also known as hogging. Positive bending moment is known as sagging, and negative bending moment is known as hogging. So here, this one which is having the concavity at the top, this is known as sagging. This particular type of bending moment is known as sagging, and the one which is having convexity at the top, this is known as hogging. Alright, so this was the sign conventions which were used for bending moment. Now moving further, students, a little consideration will show that the bending moment is said to be positive at a section when it is acting in an anti-clockwise direction to the right. Now one more method of explaining this sign convention for bending moment is that the bending moment will be positive. When it is acting at anti-clockwise direction to the right. As you can see, towards the right, if I divide this positive bending moment diagram into two sections, so if on the right hand side the bending moment is anti-clockwise, then it will be considered as positive. Alright, and it will be considered as negative on the it will be considered as positive on the left hand side when it will be clockwise. All right, so this convention you should write. You should keep in mind that the bending moment, if it is anti-clockwise to the right of the section, then it will be considered as positive, and also it will be considered as positive when it is at the clockwise direction to the left of the section. Similarly, when it will be considered as negative, if for example this is the section, then the bending moment, if its nature is anti-clockwise to the left of the section or clockwise to the right of the section, then it will be considered as negative bending moment. These all points you should keep in mind because they will be used while finding the bending moment. So these are the sign conventions for bending moment. Moving further, students, now we will see what is shear force and bending moment diagram. Let's have the shear force and bending moment diagram. Shear force and bending moment can be calculated numerically at any particular section. Sometimes, students, though we can calculate shear force and bending moment numerically, all right, at any particular section of the beam, but many times we are interested to know the manner in which these values vary along the length of the beam. Many a times we want to know that. This is the diagram, students, which we are going to draw further in the coming numericals. So in the diagram, as you can see, these are the shear force and bending moment diagram, students. These are SFD and BFD, bending moment diagram. Shear force diagram in short is known as SFD, and bending moment diagram in short is known as BMD. So you can see, I will zoom it in the coming slide, but right now I want to tell you that the nature, the manner in which it is varying across the length of the beam, both the shear force and bending moment can be easily seen in the shear force and bending moment diagram. The manner in which the shear force is varying along the length of the beam can be easily known by drawing the shear force diagram. Similarly, through the bending moment diagram, you can also get the manner in which the bending moment is changing across the length of the beam. Now this is done. How this is done? How the shear force diagram is drawn? This is done by plotting the shear force in the case of shear force diagram, or by plotting the bending moment in the case of bending moment diagram as ordinate, means as on y-axis, and the position of the cross section as on abscissa, means on x-axis. All right, like you can see in this diagram also, the values students, the values are showing you, the values in the y-axis are showing you the value of the shear force, and in the case of bending moment on y-axis the values are showing you the value of the bending moment, and on x-axis they are showing you the value of the particular position of the cross section of the beam. These diagrams are very useful. Why? Because they give a clear picture of the distribution of the shear force and bending moment all along the beam. While drawing the shear force or bending moment diagram, all the positive values are plotted above the baseline and negative values below it. Whenever we will draw a shear force or bending moment diagram, what we will do, if this is the abscissa line showing the position of different cross sections, all right, different cross section can be like this, here, here, here. So if this red line, horizontal line, is showing you the different position of the cross sections, then the positive values, those wherever we will have to show the positive value of shear force or the bending moment, then that positive value we will show that positive value, students, we will show above this line, and the negative values will be, we will show below this line, all right. So this is a baseline. This line is known as the baseline. Moving further now, What is the relation between shear force and bending moment? This is also important to know. If there is a point load at a section of the beam, then the shear force suddenly changes. Whenever you have seen, I have told you by drawing a diagram also, whenever there is a point load, students, acting on the beam, then the shear force at this particular point, it changes suddenly. That alright, that is the shear force line is vertical. When you will draw the diagram, you will find, students, that the shear force diagram here is changing suddenly. It is drawn somewhat like this. It is drawn somewhat like this. In this way, it is changing suddenly at this particular portion. This particular portion, you can see at this particular point where point load is acting, shear force is suddenly changing. But the bending moment remains the same. But at this point, wherever there is point load, bending moment remains the same. If there is no load between the points, then the shear force does not change. Means from here to here, you see, students, that from here to here there is no loading. Means from here to here you will not find any change in the value of shear force. But the bending moment, students, the bending moment will change linearly. Means in the diagram of bending moment, you will see that its diagram of bending moment will be somewhat like, if I draw the bending moment, then it will be somewhat like this. It will be inclined in this way. Alright, so this is the relation. Always you will find that if there is a uniformly distributed load, again moving into the relation between the shear force and bending moment, if there is uniformly distributed load, between 2 points, then shear force changes linearly, but the bending moment changes according to the parabolic law. Alright, this you should keep in mind while solving. I will tell you how, if the shear force is changing linearly, means if the shear force diagram is something like that, then you will find that bending moment diagram, is something like parabola, something like parabolic profile. Alright. So this is for uniformly distributed load, and for uniformly varying load, you will see that shear force diagram is in parabolic form. Then in that case, you will see that bending moment diagram is cubical. It follows the cubical law. So this is important, students, that in case of UDL, you will find that shear force diagram has an inclined straight line, and corresponding to it, bending moment diagram will have parabolic profile. And in case of uniformly varying load, when there is uniformly varying load acting on the beam, then you will find that shear force line is not a line but a parabola, and the bending moment diagram has the cubic profile, means it follows the cubical law. Now let's start. We are starting with the cantilever beam. We will draw the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram for the cantilever beam, students. Cantilever beam, as I have already told you, these are those beams which have only one support on only one side. So we are considering a cantilever beam. We are considering a cantilever beam, students. Let the length of the beam be L and the beam be AB. AB is the cantilever beam of length L, and the load it is carrying is capital W. It is the point load. Which is acting on it at its free end B. It is acting at point B. Alright. Then we know that shear force at any section at a distance x from the free end, shear force at any section at a distance x from the free end is equal to total unbalanced vertical force. This means that if you are taking any section let me draw the section. Let this be the section where we want to find the value of shear force, and let this section be at a distance of x from this point B. Alright, now we all know that shear force is basically what? Unbalanced force to either left or right of the section. So we are considering the right section, and the force on the right hand side, if it is going downwards, will be the force which are going downwards on the right hand side is taken as negative. So the shear force, only one force is there, and that is W. Since it is going downwards towards the right hand side, it will be taken as negative. So shear force Fx will be equal to minus W. Alright, and what will be the bending moment due to this load W? The bending moment at this section, which is at a distance of x from this end point B, will be equal to, see, this force will cause a clockwise bending moment on the right hand side, and we know that clockwise bending moment on the right hand side is taken as negative. Alright, this means that bending moment will be equal to, we all know it is equal to load into distance. Only one load is here, that is W, and the distance is x. With the negative sign, since it is in clockwise direction, it will be equal to minus W into x. Minus W into x. Mx is equal to minus W into x. This is the bending moment, and this is the shear force. Alright, now for drawing the diagram, since the value of shear force does not contain any x in it, means there is no term which shows the distance value on it. This means that the value of a shear force is same at all the section. How we will draw it? First of all, this is the beam. Now we will draw first of all students, we will draw vertical line. We will draw vertical line from all the points, from this point B, from this point A. Alright, and then what we will do, we will draw the baseline. We will draw the baseline for shear force, and also we will draw the baseline for the bending moment. Now what we will do, shear force value is minus W everywhere. So since it is negative, I have told to you that negative values are shown below the baseline. Negative values are shown below the baseline. So here what we will do, we will take the value, and the value is minus W. So W length we will take. If W would have been some value, we would have taken that value, and since from here to the point, the end which is fixed, there is no change in the shear force. So we will draw a horizontal line from here to here. Everywhere the shear force is same, everywhere the value of shear force is same, therefore it will look as a rectangle. Now coming into the bending moment. See students, in the bending moment, the value is minus W into x, means it is depending on the distance from the point B. So if we consider about the point B itself, then the distance of point B from B is 0. This means that bending moment at this point will be 0. Then taking the extreme left point, means end point A, then at end point A, the value of x becomes equal to if you put the section here at point A, then the distance of this section from point B, it will be equal to L. It will be equal to L. Then if in place of x you write L, it will be equal to WL. So on the A end point, the value will be equal to WL. So if you draw a line, inclined line from A to this point B, this will show you the change of the bending moment from point B to end point A. And as you can see, as I have told you in the relation of shear force and bending moment, that whenever the bending moment shear force diagram is horizontal, you get an inclined line in bending moment. Alright students, this is a zoomed diagram, same diagram which I have drawn. First of all, this is a beam, and then we have drawn vertical lines. We have drawn the vertical line from this beam, this and this. Then the baseline is drawn. Then the baseline is drawn for shear force as well as bending moment. Then since the shear force value is same everywhere, then therefore a horizontal line is drawn, and the value is negative, therefore this line is below the baseline. And since the bending moment value is dependent on the distance from point B, therefore at B it is equal to 0, and at A it is equal to WL. Joining these two, you get an inclined line like this. So now this is your bending moment diagram. This is first of all your shear force diagram, and this is your bending moment diagram. I hope you have understood how to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram for a cantilever beam subjected to point load. Now moving further, let's take another example. Now we are taking an example of a point load acting on a cantilever beam, and we have to draw its shear force and bending moment diagram. So in the question they have given you the span of the beam is 1.5 meter. It is already given here. Alright, and the load, point load which are acting are 2 kilonewton at C and 1.5 kilonewton at B. So what we will do, students, first of all, as I have told to you, we will draw the line from every sections, from every points. We will draw the line from every point, from point A downwards, from B also a vertical line downwards we will draw. Then we will draw two base lines, one for shear force and the other for bending moment. Then after, what we will do, we will draw from this C point also, since here there is point load, we will draw a vertical line from here to in this way. Now we will have to find the value of shear force at each and every section. So what we are going to do, first of all, we will take any section. If we are taking section here, students, and we are considering the length from this point B to this section as x, then if we keep this section at point B, then the load, we all know that shear force is the unbalanced force to the left or right of the section. So we are taking right section, and since we are considering at point B the value is 1.5, since it is going downwards, we will draw a vertical line. We will draw a vertical line downwards in this way. Alright, and this will represent how much? It will be equal to, students, 1.5. Then after, what we are going to do from this point, students, there is no change, there is no other force acting till this 2 kilonewton force. So we will draw a horizontal line from here to here. Then here you have a 2 kilonewton force acting downwards, and downward force is taken as negative. Already 1.5 is negative, already this force is negative, and in it you will add minus 2 kilonewton, so and it will be equal to 3.5 kilonewton. So from here you will take from the baseline, it will be equal to, from the baseline this value will be equal to 3 kilonewton. From the baseline it will be equal to 2 plus 1.5, 3.5 kilonewton. Then after, from here till A, you don't have any force, you don't have anything acting, means here till the last point, till the support A, there is no other value, therefore it will be considered as negative and horizontal. So this becomes the shear force diagram. This becomes, students, the shear force diagram. Coming into the bending moment diagram, now we all know again the same thing we will do. The section which we have made is here, for example, and let its distance be x from point B. Now we all know bending moment, how it is calculated. It is equal to the force into the distance. So bending moment equation becomes what? mx is equal to, it will be equal to the load that is acting. It will be negative. Why? Because it is going downwards, it is going clockwise in the right hand side. Therefore we will take a negative symbol, minus into w into x. Alright, now if x is there, therefore its value will vary across the section of the beam. On this particular point here, the x value will be 0, so here the bending moment will be taken as 0. Now moving to the leftward sides, the bending moment at this point where the 2 kilonewton force is acting will become equal to if you keep the section here, students, at the 2 kilonewton force, if you keep the section here at the 2 kilonewton force, then the bending moment caused by 1.5 kilonewton force will be 1.5 into the distance 0.5. How much it will be? It will be equal to 0.5 into 1.5. That is equal to 7.5. All right, 0.75. It will be equal to 0.75. So you here you will take a point, and that will also be in negative direction. That will also be in negative. Therefore, we will draw a inclined line till here. Then again from here till point A. When you will now draw the section, if you will take the section somewhat to this side, if you will take the section somewhat here, then the value of these two forces, the distance of these two forces becomes, this will become equal to how much? This is 0.5. So subtracting this 0.5 from 1.5 will be equal to 1. So it will be 1 meter. Alright, so 1 meter and 2 kilonewton force, it will be equal to 2 into 1. And since its nature is also clockwise, so it will be taken as negative. So what I am saying is, students, that here at point, bending moment at point A will be equal to, first force is 1.5 into, what is the distance from A to this 1.5 kilonewton force? It is equal to 1.5. And then after the second force, again that will be of clockwise nature, so it will be taken as negative because we are considering the right section. Minus 2 kilonewton force into, what is the distance? 1 meter is the distance. Alright, and this will give you the value, of 2.25 minus 2 means 0.25. So in this way you will get 2.25 minus 2 means 4, minus 2.25 minus 2. If both are of negative value, so it will be equal to minus 4.25. So this will give you the value here. The value here will be 4.25. All right. So joining this from the previous value, you will get a line like this, inclined line like this, and here also it will show a negative value. So in this way, both shear force and bending moment for this particular question has been drawn. Actual diagram, this I have made by myself. Actual values you can get, first of all, see in the solution. We have calculated the shear force value at point B and C and A in the same manner as I have told to you. Minus 1.5, minus 3.5, and again there is no change till A, so again at A it is minus 3.5. Then bending moment at B is 0, bending moment at C is equal to force 1.5 into its distance from B 0.5, and bending moment at A is equal to, again the same manner, minus 4.25. When you have drawn the diagram, you will get a diagram like this. These are the values: shear force 1.5, then here addition of 2, then it is lastly 3.5. There is no change from here to here, so horizontal line. Here also it is horizontal line. Then after, in the bending moment diagram, you will see that you are finding an inclined line. At B you don't have any bending moment, you are having an inclined line like this. Here it is 0.75 value, and from here to the point to the support A, you have the value 4.25. So these are the bending moment and shear force diagram for cantilever beams. Now let's solve some multiple choice question. First of all, the multiple choice question number 1. Let's see what the question is saying to us. What is the bending moment at end support of a simply supported beam? So the bending moment at the support we have seen is equal to 0. Bending moment at the support we have seen is equal to 0. Therefore, generally you would have seen, as in the cantilever also, that's free end. At free end you were having the bending moment equal to 0. The diagram was something like this. Here at free end you were having the 0 bending moment. So the option C is the correct option. Then what is the maximum shear force? What is the maximum shear force when a cantilever beam is loaded with UDL? So we all know, if it is UDL, maximum shear force will be load into the distance in which that UDL is applied, means W into L. Option A is the correct option. Coming into the third multiple choice question, what the question is saying. Sagging, the bending moment occurs at the, in sagging the bending moment occurs at the, we all know, at the midpoint. In sagging the bending moment occurs at the midpoint, mid-span. Coming into the fourth multiple choice question, what will be the variation in bending moment diagram for this particular diagram? So you can see that here you will get a triangular type of bending moment. We have drawn earlier while solving the example also. You will get a triangular shape. Alright, so option C is the correct option. Coming into the next multiple choice question, what is the bending moment for a simply supported beam carrying a point load W kilonewton at its center? So if at center there is W kilonewton force, then the maximum bending moment for simply supporting beam will be given by W into L. Option D is the correct option. Coming into the sixth multiple choice question, how do point loads and UDL be represented in shear force diagram? We all know that point load and UDL in shear force diagram are represented by simple lines and inclined lines. Alright, in shear force diagram you will find only simple lines and inclined lines. There will be no parabolic type of curve if there is any point load or UDL load. Coming into the next multiple choice question, the relationship between the slope and maximum bending moment is, we all know that relation between slope and bending moment is what? Both are inversely proportional. Both are inversely proportional to each other. Both bending moment is inversely proportional to slope. Alright. Then what is the shear force at support B? In this diagram you can see the shear force at support B will be equal to how much? It will be equal to, we all know it is talking about the shear force, and since at B there is no load, therefore it will be taken as 0. It will be taken as 0. Alright. And the line will be inclined line like this, uniformly increasing till point C. Now option D is the correct option. Coming into the ninth multiple choice question, where do the maximum bending moment occur for the below diagram? So in this maximum bending moment you can see will occur at which point? For finding the value you can calculate the value also. 10 kilonewton is the load. It is acting on 3 meter distance. So the bending moment, if you will calculate, you will find will be equal to minus 105 kilonewton meter. Answer is option number C. Coming into the multiple choice question number 10. A cantilever beam subjected to point load at its free end, the maximum bending moment develops at the, we all know that if a cantilever beam is subjected to point load at its free end, bending moment maximum will be developed at what end? Wherever it is having the joint, means at the fixed end you are going to have the maximum value, because the diagram you will, if you imagine, is in this way, inclined line. Maximum value is at the support. So B is the correct option. All the multiple choice questions we have discussed, students. I hope everything you have understood. You can use for reference any of the book which is given in this slide. I hope you have understood everything. Thank you, students. We will meet again in the next video lecture. We will solve some more numericals related to shear force and bending moment. Thank you, students. Thank you and have a nice day.